Welcome to the spook. We're halfway through spooky season, guys. Welcome to the Realist. The Realist is brought to you by SWA Sabers. They make whether you're looking for lightsabers for show or you're looking for lightsabers that are combat enforced for a fan film or for a movie. SWA Sabers. They have an anniversary sale going on. Buy two, get one free. SWA Sabers. That's right. The link's down below for SWA Sabers. My question to you guys is, are you guys ready to talk about one of my favorite subgenres of horror? Are you guys ready?
Locked and loaded.
Yes,
All
very
right,
much
let's
so.
go ahead. Trivia question today. Despite being released near the end of the actual slasher boom, what movie spoofed the entire genre?
Scream.
No, we're going to play the intro and then we'll find out.
All right.
That's right. Welcome to the Realists, episode 4. They have allowed us to do 4 episodes. I thought after the 2-hour megathon we did last week, they say, James, no, that's not going to happen. So
There's no quality control around here.
Helen, the HR, they're all taking naps. I don't know what the hell's going on. Canada Dry, I think he's drinking maple syrup and getting drunk. Who knows? It doesn't matter. This is
Ginger
the
ale.
Realist. We're going to introduce ourselves. My name is James. I am I'm a camera operator, and a steady cam operator as well. I do G&E. I do swing. I also edit, and I do color grading as well. In fact, if there's a job on a film set besides hair and makeup, I have done it. And I've done it underpaid, and sometimes I've done it for free. But not anymore, because I am a professional filmmaker. This man to the next door to me, introduce yourself, good sir.
Sometime at some point, James, I'm going to have to pick your brain about your time spent as a fluffer. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You said you did everything in the movie business, so
Yeah.
I need to hear about your fluffing experience at some
Yeah.
point. But we'll talk about that off the air.
Yeah, that's off the air. That's off the air, definitely. Yeah,
It's more like AFW after dark. But yeah, you guys know me. I've went by the name Mr. Isaacs here for several years. I hosted the shows on here for about 3 years off and on. And I've been a perennial guest on these programs for a very long time. And it's very, very exciting to be here and talk about some old school slasher films. I am Jeremy at Mr. Isaacs. Hello.
Hello. How you doing? She's new. She packs a punch. If you guys follow our wrestling shenanigans, she is all over it. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Kipster. I'm just new here and scared of 80s slasher movies, but I'm here to talk about them.
All right.
Hell yeah.
There's nothing to be scared of when it comes to all the amazing 80s slasher flicks. There just isn't nothing to be wrong. So, I mean, I guess we could kind of talk about the history of. I think we can really talk about the history of slasher flicks because it's very debatable when it actually started. There are 2 films that are credited. Both came out within months of each other in 1960. The popular one that's usually selected is Psycho. A lot of people consider Psycho to be kind of the grandfather of, but I myself tend to gravitate to the also directed by Tom Browning, 1960s Wonderful, Beautiful, Peeping Tom, which actually puts you also in the perspective of the killer, and that started to become the trope, if you will, for now getting into the modern age of the slasher, which is the 80s, which is what we're going to talk about, and then getting into your 90s revival with Scream. I know what you did last summer, and then kind of gets that hiatus, but before you start getting bigger name slashers coming out again. But lo and behold, you have movies like Hatchet, Terrifier. The
Yes.
slasher genre just doesn't dip and disappear. It goes underground. It goes independent for a while until an indie one hits, and then it's back up and it's ready to go. And so while you have one group of people who are like, I love elevated horror, or they don't know they love elevated horror, they just know that, hey, I really dug that movie Get Out. That's not a horror movie. Oh, it totally is a horror movie.
Yeah.
Silence of the Lambs. Oh, I love Silence of the Lambs. The only horror movie to actually win an Academy Award, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
It's a horror movie and it's a slasher. That's what makes this so interesting. So I guess, Jeremy, what's your introduction into the slasher genre?
Well, my friend, I was born in 1983. So when I was a small child living here in Kentucky, in central Kentucky, my dad, who has a dark sense of humor, much like I do,
Yeah.
absolutely adored like the Friday the 13th movies, Nightmare on Elm Street, and the Halloween series. And so I grew up watching these. I mean, I've been watching them since I was like 5. So, like, to me, this was always the epitome of what a horror film was supposed to be, an old school, campy, fun 80s slasher. And, you know, it wasn't until later in my life that I kind of picked up the kind of snobbish, you know, elevated horror, you know, of the paranormal boom of like the 2000s and above movies. You know, I got into all those later, but the slashers are the ones that are near and dear to my heart. And when I think about horror, I always think about Michael, Freddy, or Jason. Straight up. That's always the first thing my brain goes to.
Yeah.
As a top 3.
Yeah. What about you, Kim? Talk to us about your love of the slasher genre.
I guess I started watching them far younger than I should have, because my mom would let my brother and me go to bed. She would wake me up after he fell asleep. He was older than me, and bring me downstairs to watch them with her and her best friend. So I grew up watching them through like the holes in like the old school knitted blankets.
Yeah.
That's how I started. I was, probably about 4 or 5. And I think the first one I watched, I don't think it was a slasher movie. It was Misery.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh. I've read the novel of that. Very good story.
That's the first one I remember watching.
Yeah. I have 2. For me, my entry was when I was a kid, my mom and dad, I asked for Christmas a card for the video store so I could just rent movies. And that's how I discovered Halloween 78. I could not get enough of that movie. And back then, you couldn't buy them. Or if you could, they were hundreds and hundreds of dollars just to buy. And the Falcon household didn't have hundreds of dollars laying around. So guess what? I rented it till I broke it, till it wore out. They had to order another one. And I ordered that until it ran down. I cost this guy several $1,000s worth of worn out VHS because I'd run home sometimes just to see it. Just to see it. I'd run home from school, practice, whatever, just so I could watch it. Like, there was some serious talk amongst people that, you know, I was going to end up murdering people in the long run.
It's still not out of the question.
Yeah. And the other one
still not out of the question.
The other one was I was like 12, maybe 11 years old, and I rented this movie. My dad was traveling, and it was called Children of the Corn. And the scene where the kid pops up from the back seat, I'm sitting next to my mom. My mom yells, screamed at the top of her lungs, scared the shit out of us, scared the shit out of herself. Last time I ever watched a horror movie with my mother, which happens to be a kind of like quasi slasher, anyways. But, whew,
Yeah, those are the tormented ones that you remember.
yeah. And what I love about, for me, the slasher genre, I think what excels and makes it so different is that you look at the influences that led to the 80s boom. All right. You have the Italian giallo films like Suspiria or Night at the Opera or Luca Brava's Zombie. Like you look at like the 70s giallo films that bled into America, and now you're talking Psycho, Bava's Bay of Blood, which is a huge influence on Wes Craven and a huge influence on Sean Cunningham, which these are two people we will talk about.
Yes, we will.
Black Christmas, which, by the way, I don't know if you know this. The man who wrote Black Christmas also wrote A Christmas Story.
I actually did not know that.
That's kind of odd, eh? Christmas to that is very opposite.
Yeah, he is wrote. He is written to me two of the staples of my Christmas season: A Christmas
Yeah.
Story and Black Christmas. And then we get to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre kicks off this fascination with brutal horror, but the tropes of the final girl now starts coming into play.
Yep.
The one who's virtuous, because you got to remember, and I think a lot of people don't understand or don't realize that horror films play more of a morality play than anything else. Whatever's
100%.
going on
Yep.
in that time frame, it's reflected in horror films. So, like in the 50s and the 60s, during the Red Scare, during the possible nuclear attack and destruction of our world, you had the attack of the 50-foot woman. You had the attack of the 200-foot spider. You had this, you had that.
Godzilla.
Yeah, Godzilla, perfect example.
Is
Literally a
Godzilla
creature
considered a horror
created.
movie?
Godzilla is a monster movie. I
It's
think
horror adjacent. Yeah.
I would say it's absolutely a horror movie.
Especially the original one.
Oh yeah,
Like the original black and white one was.
start getting,
yeah.
The other ones start reaching until you get to the newer ones that just came out. We're gonna do a Godzilla episode. I'm writing this down in my notes not to forget.
Godzilla.
To show you how much of a huge Godzilla fan that I am, I have the original DVD box set from Japan.
Mm.
All 97 discs.
Oh my God.
Almost
97 Godzilla movies?
no, but there's like extra special features. There's different takes, but it leaves slots. And this is the Toho. This isn't the Matthew Broderick iguana bullshit.
Yeah, the
Talking
real
about
deal.
the Toho Japanese Godzilla. They actually have slots that are empty, so you can put in more Godzilla movies. Because you had more than just Godzilla versus King Kong and all the. I mean, like you have a lot of Godzilla movies. But to get back on track, because I could talk about Godzilla all day long.
That's for another day, my friend.
But when you get into the late 70s and the early 80s, it's a rebellious time for not just kids, but for adults as well. So your sex and drugs, like that plays a huge part. The sluts get killed. The guy smoking a joint, he's murdered by your killer. Like he
They're
always.
always outside smoking and they die.
There you go. That's why and that's why you never say I will be back, because you will never come back. And so
That's Randy from Scream, right?
yeah, that's Randy from Scream. Yeah, and so but that's the thing. Like you start getting super meta in these movies because you have to have all these tropes and all this and all that. And it's like, so for me, like that's an important part. Those tropes solidify. The virtuous one is always going to live to tell the tale of the time she was almost murdered by the axe murderer.
You should take a look at some of these comments. It looks like we got Haney in here. We got
Oh,
Tiffany.
good
We
Lord,
got
we got
Shane.
these.
Now, disclaimer: Shane is Japanese.
Yeah, Shane is.
He can make this joke.
Yeah, didn't realize that the screen is too small. My eyes are. Yeah.
Well, it's good to see everybody. I'm glad everybody's here. Did we get to the trivia question answer, James?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so the trivia question was, despite being released at the near end of the boom of the 80s, what movie spoofed the entire genre?
See, it depends on what you consider to be the end.
86, 87 is the end for me.
86, 87.
Yeah.
Would that be
Freddy versus Jason?
Would that be Child's Play?
No.
No.
In fact, it's our number 10. Let's get into the top 10 list. This is our number 10.
April Fool's Day,
we're going
right?
to talk about April Fool's Day. I'm going to let Jeremy go first. Jeremy, April Fool's Day.
You know, this one was a first watch for me, James. I had never seen this one.
Oh, all right.
I never had. I'd heard of it, but I'd never seen it. I went on a quest a few years ago to watch most of the kind of one-off 80s slashers. This one fell below my radar, though. I watched a whole bunch of other ones, but I watched this one for the first time last night. And the first thing that stuck out to me was that Biff Tannen is in this.
Yeah.
From Back to the Future. I was like, Biff Tannen is in this.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty cool. But this was a fun film. It was a fun little whodunit. It almost kind of reminded me of like a darker, like more R-rated version of Clue.
Yes.
That's kind of what it reminded me of. So, I mean, I think this was a fun film. I really enjoyed it. I wasn't expecting the twist.
Yeah.
Like, I was still thinking it was a single person. And then when the twist came out, which I don't know if we want to give that away or not, I'll leave that up to you.
Give it away. Give it away.
So the twist, for anybody who hasn't seen this, spoiler alert for an almost 40-year-old movie, it's all a big elaborate prank. It's bullshit. Like, nobody actually dies in it, but they trick two people into thinking they're the final guy and final girl and that all the others have been brutally killed.
Yeah.
And I'll admit, I wasn't expecting the twist, and it really kind of took me out of it. But I do think this is a very fun film, though.
Yeah.
But I do have to pose the philosophical question here for you, James.
Of course.
If nobody died, is it a slasher?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a slasher in a meta sort of way.
If a tree falls in the woods and nobody is there to hear it, did it make a sound, James?
Yes.
Okay.
Because of the property of sound waves, when something hits, it will move. So there's a good chance that somebody driving by might have heard, through the transient property of sound, heard the tree fall.
You're just a fountain of knowledge.
What can I say? Funny story about Biff Tanner. The guy who plays him is a stand-up comedian. And if you ever meet him in the streets, he signs autographs, he takes pictures. He leans into Biff.
Oh, yeah.
Hands you a card, and the card is access to his website, and it just says, "Yeah, I'm Biff Tanner."
That's pretty cool.
That guy's awesome. Kimmie, let's talk about April Fool's Day.
I have not seen it. I did try my best to get a list going.
Yeah.
And watch through them, but I won't watch a scary movie on my own.
Yeah.
And my husband works nights. So I'm blaming him.
I'm blaming him as well. To me, April Fool's Day, and the reason why I put it on this list is because horror movies now, especially like the Scream franchise, the I Know What You Still Did Last Summer franchise, like they all are now playing the meta part of it, where they're making reference to other movies within the movies of the movie. It's very meta, and that April Fool's Day was one of the first ones. It made fun of the genre, and for very good reason, because at that point, it was so oversaturated. Like, every production house, from the guy who does them in his garage to Warner Brothers, are putting out just schlocky crap,
Oh
and it
yeah.
oversaturates the market, and that's what killed the slasher market. But April Fool's Day was that one little gem that said, "You know what we're gonna do? Boom! That's what we think of you. Fuck the slashers," and then slashers are gone, and then they come back. So it's all cyclical. Horror is cyclical. That's the one thing you can always give. You can bet your bottom dollar. You guarantee it. About another 3 years from now, guarantee you a new Halloween movie is coming out. Michael
Oh
Myers.
yeah, 100% for sure.
Yeah.
And
It's
now
all-
that the Friday lawsuit's been settled, that's going to come down the pike too.
Yeah. Have you seen that short film?
I have.
What did you think of it?
It was all right.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was fine for what it was.
Yeah.
It was nice to see Jason back on the screen again and something new.
Yes.
I know a lot of people are getting mad about Greg Nicotero's new Jason mask, but
Yeah.
I liked it. I thought it was fine. I mean, I kind of like that it looks a little different than the hockey mask from the 80s.
Yeah.
There's a new Jason mask?
Yeah. It's a
Mhm.
new Jason mask. Yeah.
It's made by Greg Nicotero, who was the practical effects guy behind The Walking Dead, and
Yeah.
a student of Tom Savini, who did all the old Friday the 13th.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I loved April Fools.
I've seen that, Shane.
It really is just it's a fun watch. It really is, and like you don't expect that twist, and you would think like, oh yeah, the twist. Like we're gonna see that. Just everybody's dead. It's gonna be like every other horror movie, and then you get that little like, ugh, like right there. You're like, all right, because when I first saw it, it off put me as well. And I watched it a second time, probably about like 10 years later, and I go, they are crafty as fuck. They're crafty as fuck. What I love about them. All right, so we got number 10 out of the way, which was the answer to our trivia question. So, what if we were to say, let's go to number 9? If my old eyes can find it. There it is. There we go. Friday the 13th, the final chapter. I'm gonna let Kimmie go first. We'll let Kimmie go first. And
All
she
right.
These are the ones though that like scared me so badly as a kid. I watched them before I should have.
I agree. I watched them way before I should have.
So like even to go back and rewatch them, it almost traumatizes me.
Yeah.
These are the ones where I watch like this.
Tell me when it's over. It's over. No, it's not over.
That's where I learned to plug my ears too, because even the music, I'd freak out.
Yeah. Henry Manfredini does an amazing job with the score. He doesn't
Yes.
score the other films. He scores the first 3. No, actually, he scores this one, and he doesn't score the rest, but they use his score anyway. So,
That's all it is, the luminous music. And I'm like, oh, something's happening.
yep.
Oh, something's happening.
Yeah. So it's called a riser. They use it in social media. I use it all the time. When you're getting in out of your hook, you want to have a riser as your hook ends. That grabs people's attention and makes them want to watch.
Okay.
Well, science. The psychology of social media is fascinating.
Getting in your brain, man.
I mean, I am hardly on social media because I deal with social media almost on a daily basis. And it's amazing the psychology that's behind what really hits and what doesn't. What gets 1 million views and what gets 100,000 views. And the reality is that most of it is just pure dumbass luck.
Yeah.
If you get enough people watching it and enough people sharing it, then it starts organically growing. But
Yeah.
it does come to how you do your hook and how you do that riser right when you put that riser in there. So, yeah, it's called a riser. That where you get that. That's the riser. Shit's gonna. Somebody's gonna lose a something, a toe, a leg.
Somebody's going to lose something.
A life.
Yeah, life. Somebody's gonna lose something. Jeremy, let's talk about Friday the 13th final chapter.
God, I love this one. This is my personal favorite of the Friday films.
Yeah.
It's just fun. You know, you got a bunch of teenagers. They're in this cabin, and it's the Jarvis house. You've got Corey Feldman in here, the comeback king himself.
Yep.
Who ends up being the big hero at the end. Spoiler alert, stabs Jason multiple times. Yep. Crispin Glover is just such an awkward human being. Like, I love him in this. I love his dancing. I love his acting. I just keep thinking of another Back to the Future reference. Hey, you, get your damn hands off her. Like, I think he should have pulled that line out in this movie, too. I think that would have been dope. But
that would have been hilarious.
This is a fun movie. I mean, it doesn't reinvent the wheel. You know, we see him get scooped up at the end of part 3, taken to the hospital. You know, there's some very inappropriate nurses there saying and doing some very inappropriate things.
Yeah.
And, you know, shenanigans ensue. Jason gets out, massacres everyone there, goes back to Camp Crystal Lake, and starts terrorizing the poor kids at the Jarvis house.
Yeah.
And, it's just a lot of fun. It's kind of a shut off your brain kind of thing. These movies don't have an incredible story, the Friday films, especially in the middle. Like, they just kind of just freestyle it, but it's a lot of fun, though. And like I said, this has been my favorite Friday film of the franchise for many years.
Yeah. I you know, it's funny because I thought I was going to say this and it was going to be a hot take. The reality is that I'm not a huge fan of Friday the 13th. To me, it's more cult classic slasher film than it is a modern slasher film for that time. I feel like the acting is way out there. It's either they chew the scenery or it's like, yeah, I'll go get a beer. I'll be right back. But then you look at the people who have been in this. Corey Feldman, who, by the way, I want to say, when he was peeking through his window at that woman getting naked, and he's like jumping out of the bed, he's going, ee, ooh. Oh God, that made me feel like, yeah, Tommy is going to end up doing something really heinous at some point.
Tommy has a pretty interesting story arc of these 3 middle films.
Yeah.
We'll get more to him later.
Yeah, but we get Corey Feldman and you get Crispin Glover. Kevin Bacon was in the very first one. Like, you get some legit Betsy Johnson, the lady who played Mama Voorhees.
Betsy Palmer.
Yeah, Betsy Palmer, that's it.
Who I met, by the way. We'll talk about that too.
I've met her too, multiple times. We'll get to that. But yeah, I mean, so you come to Friday the 13th for one reason, that's the kills. And whether it's someone getting slammed into a tree in a sleeping bag.
That's the greatest one of all time, by the way.
That's the greatest one of all time.
Yeah.
Whether you're puncturing, you know, you're putting your thumb in their eyes and ripping their head apart.
See, that's where you have to plug your ears and close your eyes because of the sounds.
Yes, because it's squishy. It's squishy. By the way, when I used to work for a certain large studio as a production assistant, I hijacked and kept about, let's say, almost about 4 terabytes worth of sound effects. Wow. And we're talking stuff that dates back, including the original Wilhelm screen.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Do me dirty, I do you dirty back. Take all that shit, put it on a hard drive, yo.
I see Shane is asking in the chat, didn't Jason go to space? Yes, that would be 2002's Jason X.
Yeah, Jason X. Yep.
I have no plans on watching that. It sounds terrible.
It's pretty rotten, but it's got some fun spots.
Yeah, it's got some. When it hits right, but it doesn't hit often enough.
It's pretty fucking ridiculous.
Yeah,
it is.
All right, let's go to our next one. What's our next one? Let's see. Where are we going? Number 8. Oh God, I love this movie. It's called Maniac.
Yes.
Kimmie, have you seen this?
No,
Nope. Yeah, it's a good thing you did. You don't want to see it.
I just funny to mention. No, I couldn't. I don't think I could do it.
No. Jeremy, go ahead and talk about Maniac.
Man, when I saw that you added this one to the list, I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to be careful what I even say about this one. Like, this has got some depraved shit in it. Like,
Yeah,
this is this was also, the effects were done by Tom Savini, so it kind of looks a lot like some of these other films. I actually watched the probably about a year ago. I watched this movie for the first time.
Yeah,
and it was the Joe Bob Briggs at the drive-in version.
Oh, yeah.
Where he actually sat down with Tom Savini and watched it with him, and they discussed it through intervals throughout the movie.
Yeah.
Fascinating stuff. This is the most realistic of any of the ones on the list because this is like some terrifying shit that really happens.
Yeah.
And this is very depraved. It's disturbing. This is not an entry-level horror film.
No.
Like, if you know, one of the Friday films, something campy, goofy, April Fool's Day would be a good one. Those are introductory, beginner-friendly, normie-friendly horror films.
Yeah.
This is more of like a master's degree level horror film. Like,
this is studying almost for your doctorate.
Yeah, this is where you're about 150 films deep, and then you can watch Maniac.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing I haven't watched it then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
James, I don't know how deep you want to get into the depravity of this, but basically this is just about a really fucked up dude who has some very depraved things that he's into.
Yeah.
And it's, like I said, it's very dark. This guy, he doesn't wear a mask or anything. He's just like a regular dude. But here's the thing. This guy, and God bless him, I know the actor's deceased now. Yeah. This was an ugly, scary-looking motherfucker. Like, seriously, like, he looked like the guy that was banned from going to schools. I mean, that's what this dude looked like. The actor looked like that. Yeah. They picked someone perfect for this. He had that grungy, disgusting look. And apparently this guy was, like, friends with Sylvester Stallone because he's in Rocky 2. I saw him in that. He's sitting in the crowd as, like, a rich guy in the seats of Rocky 2. But that was the only other thing I ever saw him in was that and Maniac.
Well, if he's as ugly as you said he is, I wouldn't doubt it.
Well, look him up. Yeah. You'll see what I'm talking about. They actually sell T-shirts of Maniac on Terror Threads that's got his face on it. I'm like, that's fucking terrifying.
Yeah. You want woman repellent? Just wear that shirt right off the bat. Unless they're a horror fan, no woman will talk to you. It's brilliant.
And like I said, James, I will let you go into whatever specifics you want to go into about what this guy does, but yeah, it's pretty dark.
I mean, I don't want to. What he does is there are two movies that made me kind of just turn my head. Maniac is one of them, and Human Centipede was the other.
Oh God!
I got roped into Human Centipede, not by accident. The person did it on purpose.
I'm going to be honest. I've only seen the South Park parody. I haven't actually seen Human Centipede. I didn't really care to watch it.
So. Yeah, I don't even know what it is, but judging by the reaction, I don't think that I need to see that either.
Yeah, it's basically Human Centipede is this guy sews people ass to mouth.
Yeah. And makes a centipede out of it. A human centipede, if you will. Yeah.
And it's an actual movie?
Yeah.
They made like three of them.
Two more. So there's three of them.
Ew.
Yeah.
The South Park episode is fucking hilarious.
I think I've seen that.
Yeah.
South Park,
that was a parody of the real movie. Yeah.
So there's a movie that I always introduce my friends to. If they ever want to understand why I love horror the way I love horror, and I want to test them, or if someone says they like horror, but I don't believe them, so I always tell them you need to watch the movie Audition. The horror movie itself, the movie is not a horror movie for the first hour and 30 minutes, with the exception of a couple of jump screens here and there. The last 15 to 20 minutes is rip-roaring fun for the whole family. Dismemberment, paralyzation. Once you hear that, you're never going to unhear it. I'm telling you right now. I call friends who I've tortured with this movie, and occasionally I'll go, and they're like, "Fuck you," and they hang up. So I showed this to this one person, this other person was like, "You need to watch Human Centipede." And I said, "I heard what it's about. I'm not going to watch it." He goes, "No, they overblow it. It's not as bad as it is." Oh no, they didn't overblow it. They undersold it. It was 100,000 times worse than anything I've ever seen in my entire life. I didn't even finish watching it. I got about halfway through and I stopped. So, yeah.
So that's a definite no-go for me then, yeah.
And so I suppose one thing that we can mention about Maniac,
yes,
is what he typically would do was scalp his all his victims were female.
Yes.
That he would scalp them, and then he had a apartment full of mannequins.
Yeah.
And he would come back and put the scalp on the mannequin and pretend the mannequin was then like one of his girlfriends.
Yeah. No, I'm not watching that. That's not something that I could do.
Yeah. The reason why I made the list was because the special effects and the POV, that you're in the POV of the killer. You're watching and living with the killer.
Okay.
There's one there's a movie that came out last year called In a Violent Nature.
Yes.
And everybody who sold the movie sold it as it's from the POV of the killer. It is not. There are some points where you are seeing it from the killer's point of view.
It's
but
from behind.
It's the killer's story. What you're following is the killer's story.
Yep.
Nightmare on Elm Street, all these other movies we're going to talk about is from the teens or the people's perspective. Maniac and In a Violent Nature were not. Maniac was from, you were being told the Maniac's story.
Is it Michael Myers? That's the one where you see it from his point of view, don't you?
Yes. And
okay.
So.
Okay.
All right. Let's go to number 7. I know this one Kimmie has seen at least once, maybe twice. We're going to talk about Child's Play.
Child's Play.
Oh, yeah.
Child's Play. Kimmie, go ahead and talk about Child's Play.
That's my favorite movie. I love Chucky. He's great. Yeah. Everything about him is great.
Yeah.
How can you not love a doll that comes to life and kills people?
There you go.
He's such a good guy.
And he's just cute too. Like I liked him in this movie.
Yeah.
I had to side with the doll.
I mean, you can't go wrong. Anytime you can have a doll possessed by the soul of a serial killer, that right there alone is worth watching. Just for that. Just for that.
He goes through so much. They put Chucky through so much.
Yeah. They do. Yeah, absolutely they do.
There's a funny clip you got to check out sometimes. If any of you are on TikTok, you can probably find it on Facebook Reels too. Yeah. Look up Chucky Spanish version. Yeah. And there's like the clip where like the mom picks Chucky up and Chucky starts freaking out and do it like that.
Yeah.
But it's in Spanish.
Oh!
So like, you got to hear that clip because it's absolutely fucking hilarious.
I'm going to watch it.
I'm going to have to watch that too.
So one of my favorite things to collect is to collect movies that are R-rated, but they have the television edit with it as well. Is hilarious. Like The Big Lebowski. Like, this is what happens when this is what happens when you feed eggs to an Eskimo. And it's like, it is just the most obscenely stupid shit. But, oh, God, it is awesome. The newer version of The Big Lebowski has the television edit as well. So you can listen to it. It is beautiful, especially when you're on a vitamin. It's even better.
That Barney hits pretty damn hard when you're listening to that.
I'm
shit.
telling you, man. You think that Bam Bam hits pretty hard?
Oh, Bam Bam, gotcha.
Bam Bam, yeah.
Okay.
It's like right now, it's Bam Bam in its way through me. That's for sure. So let's talk about Child's Play, Jeremy.
Yeah, Child's Play is one of those films that when you're a kid, this one really resonates with you because the main protagonist in it, Andy, is a child. So like you whenever you see this and you're a little boy and the little boy is the one getting chased around by the doll, it hits a little different than watching adults run around and get slaughtered by like a giant.
Yeah.
It's just this one is a little more terrifying for younger people, and it kind of, even watching it as an adult, it appeals to fears that you had as a child.
Yeah.
So it taps into that, and to me, it makes it scarier than watching like a 7-foot giant with a mask walk around trying to stab you. Like this is more scary to me. I thought the concept was brilliant. The idea of the serial killer who knows voodoo escaping into the toy store and like transforming his soul into a doll.
Yeah.
And then he gets the bright idea of, well, I'm going to choose a little boy and put my soul into him so then I could just grow up as an adult serial killer in the body of a child and live a really long life.
Yeah.
Logically makes sense, right?
Yeah.
But, this was a fantastic film. Not my personal favorite of the franchise. I'm going to take a really hot take here. I like the third Child's Play best, the one in the military school. I thought that one was great. I love that one. But
so do I. That's my favorite out of all of them.
Yep.
Is Child's Play 3.
It's absolutely the best one by
Bride
far.
of Chucky. Bride of Chucky is my favorite.
Bride of Chucky.
Bride of Chucky is second favorite. Bride of Chucky for me is like right up there. Like it is. It's up there with Child's Play 3. Like it's almost in it because just the idea that
she falls in love with him.
Yeah, that she falls in love with a toy doll and then becomes one is just bonkers. Like it's
great though.
But it's so great. It's so cheesy. It's so great.
And a sex scene with dolls.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, like
I watched a great documentary about Child's Play. I don't remember the name of it for the life of me, but it goes into all the movies. The guy who does the voice of Chucky is a pretty well-known actor. Oh shoot, now I'm trying to remember his name.
He's so well known you forgot his name.
I know. He's a character actor.
Let me see if I can find it for you.
I'm looking it up right now as we speak.
I never found Chucky scary though.
Oh, Brad Dourif.
Brad Dourif, yeah.
Yeah, if you've ever seen Ghostbusters 2, he played Vigo's guy at the art gallery, the little short guy. That's him. He is absolutely one of the greatest character actors of all time, which will be an episode as well because there are some amazing actors and actresses that are great character actors. And
the reboot was Mark Hamill, by the way.
The reboot was Mark Hamill. It was, yeah. The TV show is not bad either. The Chucky TV show is actually really good. My experience with Child's Play was it was a new release, and I was like, I'm going to give it. I like Dan Mancini, the guy who wrote and directed it. I liked his other work, so I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to watch it. And I liked it. I really enjoyed it, which is weird because I don't like dolls. I hate dolls. I think dolls are creepy as fuck. My grandmother, my nana, my little Italian nana, she had a collection of porcelain dolls, and some of them had the eyes that were like closed.
See,
fuck that crap.
You were supposed to come up here and see Annabelle with me. Because Annabelle's here in Lexington, Kentucky.
Yeah, I know. There's no way. My constitution, my spirit could not take that. As sensitive as I am to that shit, no.
You'll think this is funny, James. When they brought the Annabelle doll in and set the Annabelle doll up, and the little display, there was actually a Catholic priest from the diocese in Lexington that went in. There's a TikTok video of it. Went in and like blessed the area and like commanded the spirit to stay within the doll.
Yeah.
That would
I mean,
scare the shit out of me. I've never seen it. I've never seen that. No, I don't. I see now that's scary, but I never found Chucky scary.
yeah,
But Annabelle, I won't watch because it'll scare the shit out of me.
yeah. Because Annabelle doesn't really do anything. It's the spirit in Annabelle. Chucky, you just know Chucky's a fucking chain smoking, beer swilling serial killer. Just loves killing for fun.
With
But,
red hair.
yeah, and he's
And
got
he
red
knows
hair.
voodoo.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I love Child's Play. It's a great movie. It deserves to be on this list. You're right. Child's Play 3, Bride of Chucky, like those are 1 and 2, and they are like very interchangeable at this point. Very interchangeable. So, all right, let's go to number 6, which is one of my favorite ones as well. We're talking about the Dream Warriors. Nightmare on
Yes.
Elm Street,
Oh,
Part B, the Dream Warriors. There's a documentary called Never Sleep Again.
Mhm.
It's about 4.5 hour long documentary. No joke. They break down every single Nightmare on Elm Street up to Wes Craven's A New Nightmare. They don't cover the remake or Freddy. They do cover Freddy versus Jason, but very briefly, just because there's rights issues and such. But when Nightmare on Elm Street came out, it changed the game. When Nightmare 2 came out, it bombed, and it almost killed the franchise. And what's so funny is that Nightmare on Elm Street 2, which I really think deserves to have a discussion, it is the gayest horror movie of all time.
Yep.
If you watch it, the coach is in the BDSM. You instead of going to hang out with a girl, the main character decides to hang out with his good-looking buddy as they're dancing and like seductively dancing.
good moves there. Good moves.
Yeah, and what's great is that the guy who played Mark is in fact gay. The guy who wrote this Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 was gay. So it was overtly gay. And it drew a lot of people from the franchise. And
It's very
so,
controversial. Yeah.
yeah. And so what happened was, Wes Craven came on. This would be the last one Wes would do until A New Nightmare.
Yeah.
Wes Craven comes on. Comes on as a producer. He did not direct it. I think it was Rennie Arlen who directed it. In fact, I'm going to look it up. But I mean, let's see. Who directed?
Well, while you're looking that up, yeah, the second one was very controversial. And for anyone who wants to know more about it, there's a great documentary called Scream Queen.
Yeah.
And it's about the actor that was in that. He's gone through a lot of stuff, and he really was very bitter towards that the writer of that film, because the writer denied that he wrote that as a gay movie.
Yeah.
And just pinned it all on the actor, which then typecast him in a controversial era of AIDS and homosexuality in the 80s. It typecast him as a homosexual type character, and he had trouble getting gigs after that. He ended up just quitting acting entirely and moved to Mexico and like opened a little shop there, a little boutique. That's what he does now. It's a very fascinating story if anybody wants to check that out.
Yeah, definitely check it out.
Scream Queens?
Scream Queen, yeah.
Yeah. Not to be confused with Scream Queens, which is the show that
The TV show.
Ryan Murphy did, the TV show, which I think deserves some just love as well. But
Ryan Murphy stuff is all a little homosexual coded too.
well, I mean, I think when he was asked, are you gay? He goes, no, I'm not gay. I am flaming gay. So
I mean, American Horror Story, which I absolutely adore, is extremely queer coded.
Yeah. But so Chuck Russell is the one who wrote and directed Dream Warriors. Jeremy, let's talk about Dream Warriors.
I fucking love Dream Warriors. I watched it earlier today just kind of as a refresher. I mean, from the get-go, you've got Doc and Into the Fire. which is
Yep.
like probably the greatest opening theme you're gonna find ever.
Yep.
Like an amazing song.
Absolutely.
Dream Warriors is neck and neck to me with the original as the best, and I would probably even lean towards Dream Warriors being my favorite of this franchise. Absolute great film. You know, we see Heather Langenkamp come back again and play her character once again, reprise. It's just like a complete. It's almost like the second one didn't happen, which
Yes.
I liked the second one. I didn't hate it. I liked it.
I loved it.
Yeah, I thought the second one was really good, but the third one kind of like makes it like the second one didn't exist. It's more. It feels more like a direct sequel to the first one.
Yeah.
Because of the main character being back involved with all these kids at a psychiatric hospital. You get a little more into the backstory of Freddy Krueger, you know, with Amanda Krueger, and I won't go into details there. You can look it up if you want. But yeah, this tells a very good story. It's got really good scenes in it. This is where Freddy kind of gets a little more comical, calling everybody bitch and stuff. Like, he didn't really do that much in the first two films. This is where his personality starts to come out a little more. But yeah, I think this is a wonderful film. I love it. I love the scenes in it. You know, Patricia Arquette's in it. She's got like this kind of like psychiatric type ability where, you know, she kind of has control of her mind and she can kind of dictate the, you know, where they go in the dream plane, which helps them fight against Freddy. It's a great story with a lot of action. The characters are all cool in it. I like the TV death.
Yeah.
You're ready for prime time, bitch.
Yep.
Like, I love that. I thought that was great. This is my favorite of the franchise. I love this movie.
Yeah. What do you think, Kimster?
I think the first is my favorite, and then I don't even think I've seen the second one. But again, those are the movies that I was forced to watch, and that's where I think I started getting nightmares, like actual nightmares from watching the film.
Did you have your eyes peeled open forcibly, like in A Clockwork Orange?
Like, it's basically like those. I was like, I don't want to watch these. I should be sleeping.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, not good memories of this. So I don't really have much to say on it except for the fact that I think that's where nightmares came from, and like the sound of the.
Yeah. Yep.
But do you at least like docking into the fire?
Yeah. Or the song Dream Warriors.
Yeah, Dream Warriors is a good song too, but Into the Fire is my jam, dude.
Yeah.
When NWA first came back with Billy Corgan and they used that for season 1, like, I fucking loved it.
I know. It was amazing. I love the Nightmare franchise. I love the first one. I even like the second one because you kind of were. That's elevated horror before it became cliche. Nightmare on Elm Street, despite the amount of gore, is a very elevated horror because you have to understand the stories behind the stories that are behind the reason why Wes Craven wrote and directed this.
Yeah.
These Filipino men were having nightmares and staying awake and dying in their sleep.
Oh.
And that was the inspiration for A Nightmare on Elm Street. And I think what Wes Craven did was he took the one thing that you virtually have zero control of, and that's your dreams. You know, despite whether you think you can control what you're going to do in your dreams, you can't. It's your subconscious. And it's so psychologically in that realm that you're dealing with when you're dealing with anything Wes Craven does. Wes Craven is I met Wes Craven multiple times. This man is one of the most intelligent people you will ever meet. Because he draws from personal fears and fears of other people, and fear of going to sleep is a very big thing. But Dream Warriors was amazing. Heather Langenkamp comes back. You get these group of the new Elm Street kids. It's a great way. But what you are also getting is you're getting that evolution of Freddy. Freddy goes away from being just a destructive nightmare serial killing machine to now saying, "Welcome to prime time, bitch," and he's starting to get personality. He has one-timers because it's not long after this that you start seeing merchandise aimed at kids of Freddy Krueger. You
Bro,
get
I
to,
played the video game, the NES video game when
oh
I was a
yeah,
kid.
yeah, so did I, and it's amazing. Bob Shea, who owned at that time, he owned New Line Cinema before they sold it to Warner Brothers, has always said that New Line was the studio that Freddie saved because he did. They were in financial ruin. They banked everything on the first one, and it was such a huge hit that it saved that studio. And
We'll get to the
everything
first one.
New Line did was that.
I said we'll get to the first one momentarily.
Yeah, we'll get to the first one momentarily, but this saved the franchise again. After 2 tanked, number 3 had to be big, and it had to have that story, and that's what you got.
Yeah.
You now are getting that story about Freddy Krueger because now the key to killing Freddy Krueger is going into his past. And that's what makes Dream Warriors. And it was so cool just how they all suited up when they were getting ready to fight him. And, just the marionette one with Joey, like that freaked me the hell out when when he was controlling him like a marionette and he cut each of the bands and then he fell to his death. Like, oh.
His own flesh, mind you.
Yeah.
What the bands were.
Yeah. So, oh, God. It
That's
was
scary. Just scary.
Yeah. Such a great movie. All right, let's get to number 5. Number 5 is probably one of my all-time favorite elevated horror films, and that's going to be Candyman.
Oh,
Candyman. Jeremy, talk about Candyman really quick.
The late Tony Todd. Candyman is such a fantastic film. I mean, everything about this is beautiful. The acting is beautiful. The way it's visually shot is beautiful. I love the film score. The little melody they play with the piano all the way through the film is absolutely beautiful. Like, it's one of the best scores I think you're ever going to find in a movie. But yeah, this was a weird story of this like ghost from like the Civil War era who comes back and kills people in the city. Like, it's a wild, interesting story that takes a lot of twists and turns. The bees really freak you out. At least they did me. And apparently Tony Todd really got stung multiple times because they use real bees for those shots. So there's a shot in it. I know you've seen it. It's in the promos and everything where, he's got his mouth wide open and his mouth is full of bees. The bees literally stung the shit out of the inside of his mouth.
It was so old. There was no AI then. So yeah, they were using.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
they used real bees, and he really got stung in the mouth.
Yeah, he went to anaphylactic shock several times.
Yeah, it's terrifying stuff. I mean, that's like method acting to the extreme, right?
Yep.
But this is a beautiful film. I love everything about it. It's one of the all-time classics. Yeah, but this is wonderful. I'll be honest with you. I have not seen any of the sequels. I've only seen the original.
Yeah.
But I got to watch the Jordan Peele produced one because it's like a direct sequel to the first one. So I'm kind of curious to check that one out.
Yeah.
That's the new one?
Yeah, it basically expands the universe. You realize really quickly the Candyman universe is way bigger than just one movie,
Yeah.
So, Kimmie, what do you think about Candyman?
Okay, now it's been a long time since I've seen it, and I might be wrong, but there's a scene where they're in the bathroom and they open it up the mirror.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the parts that really resonated with me. It creeped me out so bad. I did not want to go anywhere near mirrors for a very long time.
What's funny about that, Kimmie, is that apparently that's a real phenomenon in New York City. Because I've seen videos of this of people in old apartments.
Yeah.
And they'll open their bathroom mirror and there literally will be like a vacant apartment on the other side of it.
Oh, no.
That's like boarded up and never been used. And like, this is like a real thing. So it's kind of like playing on a real terrifying thing in inner cities.
Yeah.
I'm in a heritage home right now. I'm not now. Like, I don't want to go anywhere near my mirror again. Yeah. Like the burning, the fire. I think it was
at the end.
Yeah.
Final end. Yeah. The sequels are okay. The reimagining re-sequel to the new one that just came out a couple years ago is worth a watch, because ultimately this is a movie with a message, and the message is gentrification. I live in Nashville, and gentrification is a 1,000,000% real thing. When I first moved to Nashville, East Nashville was you, there were a lot of tenement housing in East Nashville, a lot of houses that were just let go, and crack houses and crime, and it got gentrified and it became trendy, and you had people moving in and pushing poor black people out, and now the housing market is so bad that most can't even afford Section 8 housing. That's how bad it is. So, but that's what this movie is about. This movie is about gentrification. Candyman is a slave that had his arm lopped off and was murdered by bees because he fell in love with a white woman, Virginia Madsen.
I didn't
But
know.
amazing performance in this. And when I say amazing, I mean she should have won some awards, because
she was very good. Yeah,
she is amazing in it. The dreamlike feel of the movie. You don't really feel like you're grounded in reality when you actually are. You feel like you're ethereal, like you're this ethereal being that's just kind of moving in this world. Everything is shot very soft, which was the director wanted it to shoot it soft because the director wanted it to be almost like it was a dream. Like, is it real? Because
it felt like a dream.
yeah, it felt like a dream. Yeah, absolutely. And I think what makes it even more amazing is that you have Tony Todd, who's absolutely amazing, but at the same time too, you also have Tony Todd in places, but the woman Virginia Madsen is just fascinating. Absolutely one of the most fascinating scream queens that you get in this movie. Now, what's interesting is that Bernard Rose is who directed it. Clive Barker actually wrote it. I don't know if you guys know who Clive Barker is, but he wrote and directed Hellraiser.
Yep.
Okay.
So it's from one of his books of blood, and he touched on it as well, as that it's about the gentrification. It takes place in Chicago in the Cabrini Green housing projects, which were built as a way to move black people out of downtown Chicago to make downtown Chicago safe. That's what they did. They built Cabrini Green, sold them a dream, and gave them a nightmare. For years, until it was torn down, was considered to be one of the worst housing projects in the United States. And it was a failed experiment. So if you ever watched the TV show Good Times,
Yes,
that takes place in Cabrini Green. That's the Cabrini Green projects that it takes place in. The guy who wrote and directed it grew up living there before he moved out to LA. So, but I love Candyman. The kills on it are brutal, but it's different brutality. It's not killing for the sake of killing. It's killing because it's and all in all, it's a revenge film. It's a revenge film for Candyman getting back at the people who were responsible for killing him. Hence the fire, and that pyre that they built to get rid of Candyman. So,
the bathroom scene was pretty gross.
Yeah, the bathroom scene was
the public bathroom scene. Yeah.
Woo! Brutal.
The fake Candyman, because I'm Candyman, bitch.
Yeah. Yep. Let's go to number 4. Let's see. Number 4. Here we go. Jason Lives. This is part 6. Kimmie, talk about Friday the 13th. Jason Lives.
Part 6, I think I only watched the first 2 of those films.
I don't blame you. That's probably Jeremy, what do you think about Jason Lives?
Oh, Jason Lives. This kind of completes the trilogy of Tommy Jarvis.
Yes.
You know, you've got Tommy Jarvis as the young Corey Feldman, you know, the Comeback King himself. If anybody's never seen the Comeback King music video of Corey Feldman, you need to look it up.
It's great.
Seriously. But, you know, this is adult Tommy Jarvis now, into the 5th one, into the 6th one. And what they were intending to do at the end of the 5th one was they insinuated that Tommy was going to be the new Jason.
Yes.
And apparently that didn't go over. Went over like a wet fart, right?
Yeah.
So at that point, they like, fuck it, we'll just bring Jason back. Yeah. So they had this ridiculous story where adult Tommy Jarvis, who's been long obsessed since his childhood of killing Jason, is like, you know what? Jason's dead, but I bet that motherfucker ain't really dead.
Yeah.
So he decides to go out with a buddy to the cemetery where Jason Voorhees apparently has a headstone, because they gave mass murderers headstones, I guess.
Yeah, of course.
It dug him up and was like, I'm going to make sure he's dead. So he digs up the worm-infested corpse of Jason and sticks a big metal rod into his chest, which prompts a bolt of lightning to strike the metal beam, sending electricity into the heart of Jason Voorhees and reincarnates him from a half-eaten, worm-eaten corpse to what I like to refer to as zombie Jason, which is what you see for the duration of the series. Yep. Kane Hodder, who's a fucking monster, is the best-looking Jason you're going to find. He debuts in this film. Yep. And so, yeah, you've got zombie Jason then that's going to reign terror, and the kids of Camp Crystal Lake suffer for it, and Tommy Jarvis, you know, is the protagonist here, trying to make things right and end Jason once and for all. I think this is a fantastic, fun film. Like I said, I think
fantastic, fun film.
I like the final chapter better, but Jason Lives is the one that most people think is the best Friday film.
Yeah.
And like I said, Kane Hodder is the most menacing Jason you're going to find. He's the best Jason. This is where things get kind of campy and off the rails and crazy and fun. But yeah, I love this movie.
Yeah. Now I got a question. Does Jason ever actually die?
No.
Not really, no. I mean, he at the end of 4, he supposedly dies in human form.
Yeah.
And then he's buried for many years, and then 6 is when they accidentally turn him into a zombie.
Yeah.
So draw the conclusions you will from
still
that.
Alive. Still alive.
He technically had a dead period there for a little while and then came back.
Alive in here, though. Always be alive in here. I'm here. My heart. I mean, you know what? You're right. I mean, it's a fun movie. If you're coming for plot and good acting, don't.
Don't.
Because you're going to be so mad. You're going to swear up and down. You're going to not watch the show anymore. This will.
I do think this was a hell of a rebound, though, because even though I liked Friday the 5th one, the new chapter, with spoiler alert, Roy is the killer and not Jason. There is no Jason in the 5th one. It's a copycat killer. I thought it was a good film. I thought it was solid.
Yeah.
But I think clearly it's sandwiched between the two best of the franchise, so it's kind of overlooked in that regard.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, I mean, you know, there's so many iconic moments in Friday the 13th. Like Friday the 13th Part 3 is when he finally gets his hockey mask. You know, first one he was Sackhead. So, for me, like
Jason.
Yeah, like so for me, like this plays an important part because when they decided not to make Tommy Jarvis the actual new Jason, I realized that studios listen to the fans way too much. This would have been a way better story if the studio was like, tough shit, if you don't like it, you don't have to watch it. And they go ahead and make that movie, and Tommy Jarvis is the new Michael as the new Jason Voorhees.
They're like, you know what, guys? It's the 80s. It's Reaganomics. It's a new era of capital business. And what's going to make money? God damn it, that's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
So we're bringing back Jason.
Well, and that's the thing to remember is for the longest time, they were owned by Paramount.
Yeah.
Paramount owned Friday the 13th franchise. And they were owned by Gulf and Western at that time. And Gulf and Western is not a movie company. It's oil and gas. That's what it is. So, I mean, it's about making money. I think they should have booked it where Tommy Jarvis ended up as Jason. That's my thought.
It would have been interesting for sure. Yeah, it would have been very vastly different films. But then again, we wouldn't have had fun zombie Jason, though.
That's true.
And who knows? Like a Tommy Jarvis human-based killer might not have taken off, and the franchise might have died with that.
Yeah.
That might have been the end.
That's true. That's true. You bring up a valid point. Now you're going to make me reevaluate everything. All right, that was our number 4. Now we get into the number 3. Man, I'm telling you, man, we're getting some really, really good movies coming up because this one right here, this is what started off for the last 2 movies we talked about. We're talking about Friday the 13th, the original. Timster. Talk about that Jason Voorhees guy.
When he comes out the lake for the first time. Cinematic.
Yeah.
Little Ari Lyman. Yeah.
Yep. I met him.
Yeah.
I have a machete. I want to get this out of the way before we go back to Kim. I have this machete that I bought. I had dulled so that I couldn't be, and so I would go to cons. So I have Sean Cunningham, who created Friday the 13th. I have Kane Hodder.
Technically, I guess Victor Miller did.
Betsy Johnson or Betsy Palmer. I got hers on there.
Yeah, I got her.
Who's the guy from the second movie and the third movie?
C.J. Graham.
Yeah, C.J. Graham. I got him on there. I got a couple of the writers, a couple of the directors, a couple of the actors and actresses. Alice, I got her on there. So is that, and then my we'll talk about my other one at a later time. So, but yeah, go ahead, Kim. Keep talking about Jason Voorhees.
So I think this is the quintessential, like, scared to go to camp after watching this movie.
Yeah.
And like you said, like the kill scenes in this one were great. Just the overall eeriness.
Yeah.
The way that like the smoke through the woods, it was eerie.
Yeah. Yeah. It was scary as shit.
So it's just like the spookiness of it.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much like my memories of it, and making me not want to go to camp.
Yeah. All right, Jeremy, bring it home, brother. What do you think?
Oh, I love this film. I think this film gets very overlooked a lot of times because of the fact that it's not a Jason killer film. This one is the one that caps it off, and it's his mother.
Yeah.
His mother, Pamela Voorhees, and she is the killer in it because her son Jason drowned when the teenagers were having filthy sex.
Yeah.
And her boy Jason drowned, and it was his birthday, so she went on a killing spree and killed everybody there. I think I mentioned last week my buddy Darth Gregor on TikTok. Yeah. He had a good point about this film, too. He said this film is an American giallo.
Yeah, it is.
Because, I mean, the whole thing is kind of a murder mystery, whodunit. It's gory, but it's not, like, very over the top with, like, typical horror things like pop scares and things like that. It is kind of like an American giallo film. I agree with them on that. Because it was kind of a murder mystery, but Betsy Palmer did a fantastic job here. She hated this movie. She said she only did it to get money to buy a car. And, James said that he met her. I met her too. She was a remarkable lady. She's no longer with us. She's been dead for probably 10, 12 years, something like that. She had a very interesting personality, for sure. And James, I imagine you probably got the same hug from her
Oh
where
yeah,
you had to go around the shoulders. She
Yep.
wouldn't let you hug down around the waist because she said that's what monkeys do.
yeah.
That's what she tells everybody. But she was a bit of a strange lady, but very sweet, very kind, and she was a great actress. And she did a great job. She was very like terrifying in this role.
Yeah.
Like,
Scared the
and
shit out of me.
yeah, and you know we've got early Kevin Bacon here. You know, getting the gig through the throat. This was a great film, which I imagine. Obviously, I saw it after knowing who the killer was and everything. I imagine if you saw this for the first time,
Yeah.
and didn't know who the killer was, you'd be wondering what the F was going on the entire duration of the film until the end.
Yeah.
And then it makes sense. But this is the one that kind of started the camp slasher thing. I mean, you know, it came out shortly thereafter, I believe, is when The Burning came out and Sleepaway Camp, which those are two great films as well that I think deserve some mention here. But this is the one this was the capstone. This is the one that really set it off. And it's a very good film. It spurned all this that we have called the Jason universe.
Yeah.
You know, Ari Lyman played the kid Jason that pops out at the end and grabs Alice, at least in her mind. Which is funny, a little tidbit about him. If anybody likes the rock band Ice Nine Kills, they have a song called Thank God It's Friday, and they did a special acoustic version.
Yeah.
Ari Lyman sings vocals on it.
Oh, all right.
So check that out if you haven't seen it. Little tidbit for you.
I'm gonna check that out.
Check it out. Yeah, go on Spotify or whatever you use. It's on the special edition of the Silver Screen album.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna check it out. Yeah, they do a the Misfits. The Misfits have a Friday the 13th song.
yeah,
That's dedicated to Jason as well. So there's a book and a subsequent documentary that came out several years ago called Memories of Camp Crystal Lake.
Yep.
And it really breaks down. It's like Never Sleep Again. It's about 5-hour documentary that talks about the Jason and Friday the 13th franchise. It's a great documentary. The book is even more amazing. There's stuff that's in the book that didn't make it to the documentary, which is kind of weird for a 5-hour documentary. But nonetheless, the story of Friday the 13th has always fascinated me. The people who make it big in movies, filmmakers, take risks. Steven Spielberg jumped onto a production, and then while he was on a tour, he proceeded to get off the tour to go meet the head of the studio to convince him to make a movie, which was Duel, which led to Jaws, which led to Steven Spielberg being one of the greatest American, if not greatest directors of all time. But Sean Cunningham just said, you know what? I got no idea. He just came off of working with Wes Craven on Last House on the Left, which is a great slasher film. Well, it's more revenge than it is slasher, but he was the unit production manager on that and decided he wanted to make a movie. Didn't have an idea, didn't know what to do, and said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take out a half-page ad in Variety and one in Hollywood Reporter. And all it said was Friday the 13th, coming in summer to a theater near you. He did not have an idea about what the movie was even going to be about. He had absolutely no idea, but he put a time frame on there. So he had to make a movie, and that's what he did. He got it invested through various people. And then what he wasn't counting on was Paramount went into a bidding war with everybody to get the rights to this film. Without
he
it,
wanted to piggyback off of Halloween specifically, right?
Yeah. And this was really the kind of beginning of the holiday horror films that you would get, like Black Christmas, Silent Night, Deadly Night, Halloween. Eli Roth made a movie called Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Which is actually
Valentine.
Yeah.
And Hard Eyes or Valentine's Day horror. Yeah.
And there's My Bloody Valentine as well, isn't there?
Valentine. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, this holds a special place in my heart. The cat jumping through the window scared the living hell out of me, and I knew I was in for a ride for the rest of that movie. So, as soon as that cat jumped through the window and scared it, I was like, "All right, we're in for a ride." And you're right; it's got horror tropes, but it's a murder mystery. You're trying to figure out who exactly is the killer, and it turns out to be Betsy Palmer. And man, I love her hugs. Her hugs are so amazing. She gives the best hugs in the
I
world.
I will share with you my hug picture with you if you share with me yours.
I
And I
will
bet
do
it
that.
looks identical.
It looks 100% identical because they all look the same.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to number two. Number two, I mean, what can you say about this movie? It is the original. It is the first. It is A Nightmare on Elm Street. Kimmie, talk about Freddy Krueger.
Kimmie is scared of Freddy Krueger. Like I said, most of these movies I didn't rewatch
Yeah,
because it just brings back childhood trauma. Being scared shitless.
yeah,
Like that's like that's all I can think of is just like I said, watching I don't think I fully ever watched it because I only seen like portions of it.
yeah, yeah.
Like
Wait,
that I think that's the worst part for me is like maybe one day I'll be brave enough to watch it.
yeah,
Is it right now? No.
no. What do you think, Jeremy?
Oh, amazing, amazing film. I love this. I love the story. I love the character of Freddy. Like I said, this is neck and neck with Dream Warriors for me. Like, I totally understand why people would think this one's better. This one, I think, had a couple really, really iconic shots, just visually, that trumps anything else.
Yeah,
One being the bedroom scene of sucking Johnny Depp's character in, and then
Oh,
exploding blood all over the room. And then the
I
famous
covered my
scene,
eyes and plugged my ears thinking about that.
and then the famous scene in the bathtub with the gloves coming up in the water. Like
Yeah.
it just sets the feeling. Like nothing really happened, but it just set the atmosphere and the tone of the film.
Yeah.
This was a darker, more quiet Freddy. Obviously, he hadn't gotten to his bolster's personality yet.
Yeah.
And we don't really learn a whole lot about him other than he's a child predator that was killed by the locals.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just a brilliant story. The acting was great. We see young Johnny Depp in his debut film role.
Yep.
I mean, as illustrious career as he's had, this was his first movie. It was
I
just
met
terrific.
Johnny Depp.
Oh yeah, he's actually he used to live in my hometown as a little boy. Yeah, because he's from Kentucky. But yeah, this is a fantastic film. I don't really know what else to say about it. It's legendary. It's classic. It's on the Mount Rushmore of horror films, one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I mean, I saw this. I did not see a trailer for this at all. I had no idea what I was getting ready to watch. All I knew was that I was ready for it. I was absolutely 100% ready for it.
You're like,
And
damn it, I don't know what it is, but I'm ready for it.
I'm ready for it.
Give me two of them.
And I watched a movie that had a very big influence on me as a filmmaker, Wes Craven. I read anything that I could read about Wes Craven, Fangoria magazines, books, anything that had to do with Wes Craven. I became obsessed with Wes Craven because the realism in his films are just that. The ideology is that it can be it could be realistic. I'll see these Filipino men who are dying in their sleep. When you look at Last House on the Left, even though that is a remake of a 51 Ingrid Bergman movie called The Virgin Spring, Last House on the Left, while it's a killer revenge movie, it's a legit movie. That shit could happen in real life, And not to say that if you close your eyes and go to sleep, that some maniac with finger gloves is going to slice and dice you. But I mean, there are
You
people
can't guarantee that.
Hey, you never know, James.
who can't guarantee it.
You never know.
Yeah, and it's such a visceral movie because the teenagers are not stupid. Well, your final girl is not stupid.
I was gonna say most of them are.
Yeah, Nancy is smart because Nancy doesn't drink, Nancy doesn't do drugs, Nancy doesn't sleep around with her boyfriend, and you see her slipping into this sleep-deprived dementia, trying to figure out, how do I get rid of Freddy Krueger? How do I finally get rid of him? And to be able to pull him out, and when she realizes she can pull stuff out of her dreams and bring him into reality, he's not as strong. He's not as powerful. And that moment when she turns and says, I give you all your power back. You have no more power over me. He disappears. And you're like, oh, thank God. Mom's not drinking. Kids are getting ready to go to school. Next thing you know, mom gets sucked through the door window. And the top comes down and it's Freddy Krueger and they go taking off, which shows
she gets sucked down into the bed and never comes back again.
Yeah. So
and the dad's just casually like, oh, okay, let's get out of here.
Yeah, dad's like,
I love how the dad had almost no reaction to his wife getting sucked down to the bed.
Exactly. I think it's time to get to number one, because I think that this is an important movie to talk about. So when I originally came up with the idea for doing 80s slashers, I had to really define what the 80s meant, because the heyday of the 80s really started around 77, 78, 79. And that's when it really took off, was right around 79, 80, and rode until about 86, when it finally just lost all its wheels and just fell apart. So for me, I wanted to include 78 because if I went further back, we could probably include Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I think that plays a viable, and I think that plays an important part in slasher history as well. But
certainly
the movie
Black
that
Christmas.
really, what's that?
Certainly Black Christmas too, because it inspired our number one film here.
Yeah. So when you think about it, at the end of the day, you want to find the movie that's seminal, the movie that really kind of was the linchpin, the one that started that first domino. And it's this movie right here. It is the 1978 John Carpenter directed, John Carpenter written, produced by him and Deborah Hill, 1978's Halloween. Kimster.
I just tried to watch this for the first time with my husband.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I say tried to watch it because I still got too nervous and had to call it quits.
Yeah. There you go. Out of what you saw, what did you think?
I think, and it's Jamie Lee Curtis, if I'm not wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that she was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I think that even being an actress in a movie like that, I don't think I'd be okay afterwards, even knowing that it's fake.
Yeah.
Like, does that make sense? But
no, it totally does.
So that was my thoughts on that. I'm gonna try to finish it eventually, but it was much like I don't do like the scary stuff. That's what makes no sense about me. Chucky didn't bother me at all. But but this, yes.
Yeah. All right, Jeremy.
This is quite simply the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
This is the best horror film ever made. It's the most culturally relevant horror film ever made. Storyline wise, presentation wise, the way it's shot and everything, I think materially it's probably the best ever made. John Carpenter was absolutely brilliant in writing this, and the score that he composed obviously was like the greatest. It's one of the greatest cinematic scores you're ever going to hear. Period. It ranks up there with easily the most recognizable, maybe that and the Empire from Star Wars. That's got to be like the two most recognizable that you can hear 2 or 3 notes and know what it is.
Yep.
Absolutely brilliant movie. The Laurie Strode character is the greatest final girl of all time.
Absolutely.
Greatest final girl of all time. Jamie Lee Curtis, the greatest scream queen of all time. I mean, this is just absolutely legendary. What can you say about it? And what I love about it too is that the movies from the 70s, they didn't rely so much on gore and effects. So it was a lot more psychological based. It was a lot less gory like some of the other ones we've talked about from the 80s. The 80s kind of started the gore. This really didn't have much. It was a lot more psychological. It's a lot more mental than it was visual.
Yeah.
But, Michael Myers is the iconic slasher.
Yeah.
The greatest of all time, with his whited out like William Shatner reject mask that was supposed to be used on Star Trek. It was a prop. It was supposed to be it was a William Shatner mask. It's supposed to be Captain Kirk.
Yep.
They turned it inside out, didn't they?
I'm not sure what all they did to it, but they repurposed it.
Okay.
They cut the hair down and made it so it would lay backwards, and then they painted it not pure white, but a very off white, so that it would give shadow and reflection.
Yeah, and I mean it's just the black jumpsuit with the black boots and the all whited out face with the hair sticking up. This giant man with a knife. It's terrifying. I mean, it's the quintessential horror icon, the original horror icon.
Yeah.
And, I know we mentioned earlier that John Carpenter has mentioned that Black Christmas was like the inspiration for him making this.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of the foundational film of this, which is another very good holiday film as well.
Yeah.
But I think Halloween's way better than Black Christmas personally. But, this is the GOAT, man. I mean, I've got the shirt on. James has got the shirt on. It's Halloween all day long.
Yeah.
It's why we're here.
So at last count, I have 37 different versions of the 1978 movie Halloween in various formats: digital, 4K, Blu-ray.
Same here. I have it in multiple formats too.
Yeah. The TV edit, which added 5 more minutes. So like, this was a huge movie for me. This was the first movie I saw at a drive-in.
Ooh, great choice.
I saw it with my dad. I begged him to see it. We went to go see it. This was back in a time when movies went regional. They didn't do a full United States release. They go to the Northeast for about 4 months. Then they move over and they go to the Midwest. Then they go out west. Then they go northwest. And so they would move this around. So by the time you got it in your location, there's a good chance it got spoiled either by magazines or by people that were in another town.
So it wasn't released all at once?
It was not released all at once. They didn't start doing that until about 84, 85 is when they started doing. Well, actually, I take that back. Jaws went regional too. I'm trying to remember, what is the first movie that kind of went national? I'm not sure, but it was right around 82, maybe 83, 84 when you had wide releases. Because the theater owners realized they can make buku amount of money, because if it comes out in a wide release, then you can keep it on the screen for longer if it's a high-selling movie like Empire Strikes Back or something like that. So, but for me, Halloween, the amount of violence is almost nil. There's very small amount of violence. You don't see a tremendous amount of blood. What you do see is the aftermath at the end, when you see PJ Souls, who is one of the original Scream Queens.
I met her too. She's great.
I met her. Yeah, I met her too. She signed my kitchen knife. So I have a big kitchen knife. I got a 12-inch kitchen knife, and I have John Carpenter, Deborah Hill before she passed.
Yeah.
The Castle. Jamie Lee Curtis is on there.
That's amazing.
I got Annie, the girl that played Annie Brackett. I got her on there. So, but it's a movie that's important because she is the first final girl. Psycho didn't have a final girl. Peeping Tom didn't have a final girl. Texas Chainsaw Massacre had a final girl, and that technically was your first final girl.
Yeah.
But the other thing...
my husband just passed me his phone because he looked it up. The first film shown nationally in the U.S. was The Birth of a Nation.
Oh.
Right.
I wouldn't admit that. That's a bad. Yeah. I did the AFI top 100, so I watched 100 movies in 100 days and did a review on each one.
Mm.
And Birth of a Nation was hard. It was hard to watch because so blatantly racist. It's ridiculous. But getting back to Halloween, for me, Halloween, Michael Myers was an entity. And even like Loomis, like having Loomis
I love
being the
Loomis.
opposing opposition, he's got evil in his eyes. I've seen it. This is not a human. This is just pure evil. And that builds on it. And then, Halloween kind of has a different take. John Carpenter didn't direct Halloween 2, but he did write it and produced it. Halloween 3, which a lot of people seem to hate, that was the original vision of Halloween, was to tell different stories
Anthology. Yeah.
as an anthology. And
Mhm.
people hated it because Michael Myers wasn't in it.
Yeah.
So then you get Halloween 4. And then now you're getting into the whole cult
The
story
Thorn
line.
trilogy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you get into the Laurie Strode from part 2 leading into H2O and all this. Listen, I get it. Sometimes,
I tell you what you love, James.
Yeah.
You loved Busta Rhymes doing kung fu on him and saying, what,
yes,
trick or treat, motherfucker. One of the worst, most cliche lines ever.
Oh God, it's just, oh God.
I should have put that on my soundboard. And then I could have hit the button and said, trick or treat, motherfucker.
If you want to know how much of a fan of Halloween I am,
Oh, you're gonna play that horrible sound.
that's my
Hell
theme.
yeah.
That's my ringtone.
That's very
That just makes
apropos
all my
for this
arm
time
hair
of year.
stand up. Like that's the stuff that doesn't work well with me.
I love John Carpenter. John Carpenter is one of my 10 favorite directors of all time. And when you really think about it, he has an incredible run. I do want to do an episode of John Carpenter because when you're dealing with like Big Trouble in Little China, when you're dealing with Halloween, when you're dealing with just these amazing movies that John Escape from New York, like
He did an Interview with a Vampire as well, didn't he?
He did do the vampire, yeah, with James Woods, which I don't watch because I don't like James Woods because he's a right wing nutcase. But yeah, I mean, John Carpenter. If Halloween could not have been made successful if it wasn't for John Carpenter and Deborah Hill. Both of them, they were both involved with each other romantically. Deborah Hill is one of the greatest. If you ever get a chance on multiple DVDs, the commentary track, there is a commentary track with John Carpenter, Deborah Hill, and Jamie Lee Curtis. And Nick Castle, which is absolutely fantastic to listen to.
Nice.
And yeah, this is a series of movies that deserves a documentary more than just a special features documentary you get for 30, 40 minutes. It deserves a good 4 or 5 hour documentary like Never Sleep Again or Memories of Camp Crystal Lake. So
yeah.
Well, there's your time. Do it. Make the movie.
John Carpenter's pretty dismissive of anything after his first film.
Yeah, John Carpenter is not the easiest person to get a hold of. Yeah, he's very reclusive. I'm lucky. He was at a horror convention for the 20th anniversary or 25th anniversary of Halloween, and I got him to sign my kitchen knife. So yeah, nothing like walking around a con with a kitchen knife.
A kitchen knife. That's great. I love it.
That's the end of the show, guys. That's our top 10. It is an amazing. I mean, we could do 2 parts. Originally, when we were talking, I was thinking about doing 15 to 20 because there are movies like Sleepaway Camp, The Burning, just there are so many great slasher films. What I suggest is that you go out to your local streamer and just go to the horror section and just start watching horror because
Bro, Tubi's got a million 80 slashers, like the off-brand ones.
Tubi
Yeah.
is
Roku has a bunch too right now that we were looking at that were
Slumber
weird.
Party Massacre, like Slumber Party Massacre 2 with the weird Grease character with the killer guitar. Like,
Yep.
he gets some crazy shit.
The drill guitar. I forgot about the drill guitar.
See, I know about the new stuff. Like I like the screams. I know all of the, you know what I did last summer's, the Jeepers Creepers, you know, that stuff. That's when I was old enough to choose that it was okay to watch them.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, right now, I think horror is in a huge, huge renaissance right now.
It is.
It's more than just, hack and slash and blood and guts. They're telling stories that have tremendous meaning. For those who don't know, in January, the love of my life, Jessica, passed away from a brain aneurysm. And I'm on a grief journey. And in the first couple months were really dark months. I watched the movie Babadook because Babadook is really a story about motherhood and grief.
No.
And watching it hit home, and it really let me kind of release a lot of shit that was just inside of me. But horror, like Talk to Me and Bring Her Back, from the Filiasulu brothers, is amazing. The new Candyman, Jordan Peele is killing it.
Oh, I love Jordan Peele's
Producing,
movies.
writing, and directing. Like, he's killing it. You have, the new Scream movies are meta within meta within meta. Like, right now is an amazing time to be a horror fanatic. It is an amazing time because even though, let's say you don't like Nosferatu or Sinners or any
I
of
fucking love Nosferatu.
Nosferatu.
That was a gorgeous film.
So I just bought a brand new TV a few months ago. I got a 4K QLED TV specifically because it had filmmaker mode, and so got the 4K Ultra HD. But the blacks are inky.
Ooh.
And the first movie I watched, I didn't even turn it on all day because I got it in the morning, and I was just watching stuff because I wanted to break it in, and I broke it in with Nosferatu, and the blacks and the shadows and how it dances just looks, and I was like, oh fuck, this thing looks so fucking beautiful, and
it's about as gorgeous of a gothic look as you're gonna find.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Nosferatu, yeah. And that's the thing, like, Ari Aster has decided to get away from horror films for some reason, but Zach Krieger, Barbarian, and Weapons looks great on that TV, but Weapons is an amazing movie, and so many people are just like, it just, and I'm like, it's the second highest grossing horror movie this year, and this year's not even done yet.
Oh yeah.
Like, you had The Conjuring that just came out. Sinners just tore the movie universe apart.
Yeah.
You want to talk about up and coming film directors? Yeah, that's one of them. Zach Krieger is one. Jordan Peele is one. What's his name from Sinners? That's escaping me, and I feel horrible. What the hell is his name?
I know who you're talking about, but I can't remember his name either.
Yeah, he did Black Panther and Fruitvale Station. Shit.
I want to see what Damien Leone could do, the creator of the Terrifier series.
Oh, yeah. Terrifier, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Ty West
the X trilogy was brilliant.
Awesome. And he already had great movies ahead of time, one name that I wish would come back and get into the horrorscape is Brad Anderson. He did Session 9, which is a great, if you want to get fucked in the head, it is a great movie. It's about so it's in Massachusetts. It's Walpole Prison, and it's an old prison, and they are going in to get rid of asbestos. And it used to be a psychiatric hospital, and they start hearing noises and hearing voices, and things are being moved around. You don't see it, but like you put a tape measure here and he comes back and it's over on another table. Like it's just, but it ramps up in that last 15 minutes, man. I love Brett Anderson. I wish he does a lot more TV and a lot more action stuff now, but that guy created a hell of a horror movie. There's a reason why young filmmakers and first-time filmmakers make horror movies. They are cheap to make, and they make millions because you have a built-in audience. If you make a good horror film, you will have fans for life.
I'm gonna be sure to look that up in the fucked in the head section of Tubi.
Yeah. Definitely do that.
Don't give Shane ideas. He's already fucked in the head enough. Well, are we all?
Pretty much. Yeah, we are. All right, guys, that's the end of the show. Thank you so much for coming on this journey. We had a blast talking about it. Next week, we're going to do Lord Ryan Rich. Rich Southwood requested that we do vampire movies.
Ooh.
So do you want to join in, guys?
I'll see the list and see if I know any of them. Hopefully more than I did this week.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll be able to or not. I'll have to take a look at what my schedule looks like.
All right, take a look at your schedule, figure it out. Until then, we will see you on the cutting floor.